This was the year when Brian Little left and John Gregory returned. All change amidst an assault on Europe which promised so much, excited so many, and came so close. Last season, Villa had finished 5th, bringing that all-important qualification to Europe. Yet there was a feeling around Villa Park that Little's men had underachieved following the Coca-Cola Cup triumph of the previous term. And so, if a title challenge was a little out of Villa's reach, then fans would expect nothing less than to be pushing for cup honours both home and abroad. And with this in mind, Brian Little splashed out £7 million to sign Stan Collymore.
I used to support the club when I was a young lad, so bearing in mind that and the fact that I was in and out of the side at Anfield last season, once I spoke to Brian Little, my mind was made up really.
I guess I've always felt that he would suit our style of play, and when I found he was available, I really encouraged the chairman to do it as quickly as possible. And I think a lot of people in the Midlands since have been a little bit frustrated, thinking we were going to go out and keep continuing doing things like that every week, but we spent an awful lot of money on a player who we believe will help Dwight Yorke, Savo Milosevic, give us options as to how we play.
Little strengthened his squad elsewhere with the addition of defender Simon Grayson, Leicester's player of the season for 96-97. Gareth Farrelly was sold. He joined Howard Kendall at Everton for £700,000. The month of August saw Villa begin the campaign on a scorching hot day in front of a capacity crowd at Filbert Street against Leicester City. One goal was enough to settle this, the deadlock broken 8 minutes before half-time, a cross from Steve Guppy, a header from Leicester's Ian Marshall. 4 days later, Villa's first home match against Roy Hodgson's Blackburn, and a nightmare for Villa as Chris Sutton wreaked 20 minutes of havoc with his first hat-trick since 1994. And worse was to come. In the 71st minute, Stuart Ripley's 30-yard drive was deflected off Kevin Gallagher, Villa beaten 4-0. Mark Bosnich made his first appearance of the season in the away match at Newcastle, but even he had no chance against a brilliant left-foot shot from John Beresford, 22 yards out, 1-0 to Newcastle. Villa produced most of the second half pressure, but the luck was on the home team. And despite the dismissal of Batty for a second bookable offence, Villa were unable to capitalise, the score remaining 1-0 to Newcastle. Villa's next game was away at White Hart Lane. Les Ferdinand put Tottenham in front after just 6 minutes. But Villa replied some 20 minutes later when Mark Draper sent York scampering clear for a 28th minute equaliser. Stan Collymore then settled in with his first goal for the club just after the break. Staunton and Taylor laying on a tempting opportunity. Collymore didn't hesitate. But Ferdinand was unstoppable, a flying header in the 66th minute, taking the score to 2-2. And then came an unlikely Tottenham hero. Rule Fox stole Ferdinand's thunder and stole the match for Tottenham when he put this third past Bosnich in the 77th minute. So that fourth defeat meant that Villa had suffered their worst start ever. Changes were afoot. Andy Townsend was sold to Middlesbrough for £500,000. The last game of August was at home against Leeds United. The Villa fans were hungry for their first win. Villa were happy to oblige.
Chance here maybe as they open up in front of him. Oh, great save by Nigel Martin. Staunton's free kick. Dwight Yorke. Oh, what a shot from Yorke! His second goal of the season, and he puts Aston Villa in the lead against Leeds United in the 67th minute.
There was a lot of nerves around. Passing at times in the game wasn't at its best. Thankfully we scored, and thankfully we kept a clean sheet. So, you know, that's more like Aston Villa, I guess, over the last 2 years. There's a lot of times we won games 1-0, and I always think it's probably the best result you can come up with in a game of football, because it always means the end of the game it's a little bit nervy, and if you defend properly in that period, that shows you the characters there. So I was pleased with the result. It's massive for us because you know, there's a lot of problems around the place which could have grown even more today. Thankfully, we've settled things down a little bit, and hopefully we can get on with winning some games of football.
6 games loomed in September, including the launch of Villa's UEFA Cup campaign. 2 meetings to come with Bordeaux. The month itself started on the back of that important win over Leeds with a trip to Barnsley to meet the Premiership's new boys.
It's a dangerous ball into the 6-yard box there. Scrambled away. Oh, it's in, is it? Yes, it is. And Hugo Ekiog claims the goal. Collymore, nice little ball and taken up here by Draper. Draper's through and he slips it under Lees. Goals in the 25th and 50th minutes for Aston Villa. Good ball by Dwight York, who chases the return ball. Now then, he's got Draper there if he wants to knock it back. Decides to go around the outside and it's squeezed in again, this time by Taylor. And it's surely another 3 points for Aston Villa.
Two days later, a 19-man squad was in France for their UEFA Cup first-round first-leg meeting with Bordeaux. The outcome was highly satisfactory.
Lasland! Oh, it's not gone in. Remember, an away goal for Aston Villa would make it so hard for Bordeaux in the return leg at Villa Park in a fortnight's time. Wiltord. Oh, fabulous save by Bosnich. He needed every last inch of his reach there to divert the ball for a corner kick. Draper. Staunton knew it was a hospital ball, wasn't it? And Staunton skipped round. Wiltord and delivers the cross, looking for Collymore. This is Stan Collymore. Great save by Rame. Stan Collymore, close to a precious away goal for Aston Villa.
So a goalless draw in France, and the revival continued with the next match back in the Premiership. A disciplined display at home to Derby, Villa fighting back from Derby's early lead.
Ball from Broward. Oh, and Piano's through. And he cooks it in the end. A second attempt, and Bosnich can only look and wonder. It's 1-0. Dwight York laying it back. Staunton's cross in. Oh, good defending. Collymore almost turning that one in. Stan, the man, unlucky again. Staunton with a corner kick there. Good knock back. Dwight York. Oh, what a turn from Dwight York, and he's equalised. 73 minutes on the clock. There's still time to win this one. So sharp in the box. Beautiful knockdown there by Taylor. And Collymore involved too. York provides the finish. Here's Collymore again, slips past the challenge, looking for the switch ball across. Here's Nelson, oceans of space, drills in an early ball, good one, Dwight York dummies in and it's in by Jochin. And Aston Villa have taken the lead. 2 goals in 2 minutes for the Villa. And what a good ball in that was from Nelson. And a good dummy there from Dwight York. It's wrong-footed the defenders. And Jochin pops in number 2 for Villa.
The bandwagon ground to a halt as Villa then lost 3-0 at Anfield against Liverpool. By the time Karl-Heinz Riedler scored, Villa were well beaten. Then came Sheffield Wednesday at Villa Park. They'd conceded 20 goals in their previous 8 games. Villa went behind twice, yet pulled back to equalise on both occasions.
As Dwight York knocks it back for Draper. Oh, and it grazes the post. Unlucky there for Mark Draper. Eggleton's cross ball. Oh, and an easy one there. Wayne Collins scores and he puts Sheffield Wednesday into the lead. Fernando Nelson, tricky customer, a very good crosser of the ball. Gets it over with the left foot this time, but couldn't quite find the way through. But Staunton was there. Here he is again. Tries it with the left foot. Oh! What a blistering shot from Steve Staunton! A candidate for goal of the season, that. 32 minutes gone. It's all square at 1-1. Well, a kiss from Jurčić there. All because of this sensational shot. Di Canio. Good cross from Di Canio. Oh! And Sheffield Wednesday have gone back into the lead through Guy Whittingham. So Villa having to come from behind again. York going down, but Nelson picks up the loose ball, gets the cross in, chance here for Taylor, and Taylor scores! 49 minutes gone, we've had 4 goals here, 2 apiece, and Ian Taylor celebrates with the mascot. Again, Nelson involved, providing the cross, and a clinical finish.
September ended with that return leg in the UEFA Cup. Having held Bordeaux to a goalless draw, Villa now held home advantage, but it still went to extra time.
0-0 after 90 minutes, 0-0 on aggregate with Bordeaux. No substitutions between end of normal time and extra time. Remember, if there's no score in the next 30 minutes, we'll have a penalty shootout to decide which of these two teams goes through to the next round. Niku. Back to Wiltord, under pressure from right now. We're trying to slip it round. Savlic has got there ahead of him. This is Milosevic who can win it. Oh, what a save! Staunton. Staunton again. Milosevic. Still Milosevic! Oh, just couldn't get enough power in the shot or angle it. And this is Milosevic with Grayson breaking to his right. Milosevic, York now, Dwight York! Plenty of possession here by Villa. Staunton, great ball in towards York. Collymore again! Cross, by Glalak. Lutzer. Pavon. Taylor. Good tackle. Collymore. It's round 2. And he's picked out Charles, who's got in behind Grenay. Charles with a cross. It's a goal! Savo Milosevic! They've had to be so patient. It's Gary Charles, the substitute, who is the architect of the goal, which could take Villa through. Villa took the risk on including Milosevic tonight, and it's paid off.
So, as the Serbian striker became the Villa hero, September drew to its conclusion. Villa had begun to climb back up the table after that disastrous start. October saw the start of the Coca-Cola Cup campaign, but interest didn't last long. Villa lost 3-0 at West Ham. The UEFA Cup campaign continued though with an away tie against Athletic Bilbao to come. But first, a trip to the Reebok Stadium where struggling Bolton revealed new record signing Dean Holdsworth. But it was Villa who broke the deadlock after 12 minutes when Savo headed home his second goal in as many games. But the joy was stifled with a red card for Stan Collymore. An altercation with Bolton defender Andy Todd brought a 3-match ban which began against Wimbledon. And without Stan, the team struggled. Wimbledon travelled to Villa Park and took the points.
Southgate again threading that ball forward. Here's Staunton. Early ball in from him again. A chance here to go one up. Oh dear, oh dear. Wimbledon coming back well through Thatcher. Thatcher rides the challenge, knocks the ball well back, and the good little ball in. A chance here, and Earl puts it in the net, and Wimbledon steal the lead. On the run here. Oh, good ball through. Taylor, what a goal! Ian Taylor smashes that one home. It's 1-1. Kerry Hughes, he fashioned the first goal for Wimbledon. What can he do? He has a good ball in. Oh, and it's there! Carl Cork was on the end of it.
Against Athletic Bilbao, Aston Villa produced another disciplined performance that became their UEFA Cup trademark for the season. There were frequent chances at both ends, but the deadlock was never broken. 0-0 was still a positive outcome for Aston Villa. The last game in October also ended goalless, this time against early title contenders Arsenal. And so with 12 games played, Villa were 13th, with 14 points from a possible 36. So November brought 2 further UEFA Cup ties and another London encounter against West Ham, but it began with a home defeat against Ruud Gullit's Chelsea. It was a game that began badly. York was fouled and was given the perfect opportunity to put Villa ahead. But York missed the penalty. And so goals from Mark Hughes on his 34th birthday and substitute Tore Andre Flo enabled Chelsea to take the points. It all left Brian Little with the massive challenge of lifting his side in time for Tuesday's crunch UEFA Cup clash with Athletic Bilbao. Now, it was fair to say that Villa had saved the best for Europe in the early part of this season. It was again the case against Bilbao, who came into the game themselves full of confidence after an 8-game unbeaten run.
Larrainza with the throw in forward. There's the other, Echeverria. Sheba, who's the younger of the two brothers. And Rios has gone down, and Milosevic, the referee, has already blown. It won't count, it won't count. He pushed into Rios. I didn't hear you. Not a word in your shell light, son, says the referee from Hungary. The empty seats that we spotted up before the game have all been filled, and there's very, very few empty seats around the stadium. We're up around about the 39,000 mark, I'd say again. That's good work by Milosevic. York in the middle, and Taylor. Oh, the keeper's dropped it! Ian Taylor! 1-0 to Aston Villa. A dreadful mistake by the goalkeeper Imanol Echeverria, and it was buried by Ian Taylor. 1-0 to Aston Villa, and Villa Park comes alight.
Well, it's the first time they've got behind them in a wide position, and again, good skill by Milosevic. He's got a cross in, which isn't a great cross, but the goalkeeper's decided to help us, which is great. And Ian Taylor's following up. Fair play to him. That makes it a different game now that Bilbao have to do a little bit more now and come and chase the game.
The last time I saw handling like that, it was in the shower this morning, and it was the soap that went squirt out of my hands and hit the bottom of the shower tray. York. Nice touch. Milosevic has possibly had his best night of the season so far. To York. Lovely turn, Dwight York. Chance for Villa. Did so well, Dwight York. Lovely move by Aston Villa, and possibly deserved the second goal on the night. Oh, that's a mistake by Alcorta. Right, Taylor, York on the edge of the penalty area. Here's Dwight York. Dwight York, through for outside. York goes for goal! Aston Villa have the 2-goal cushion. Athletic Bilbao have been York they've got the goals that matter.
A fantastic strike and probably Villa's best moments of the game, their passing movement. And Dwight York sees Draper arriving outside and uses him and rifles a terrific shot. You can't blame the keeper for that one.
Magnificent goal by Dwight York. And he's timed everything he's done, Joe, at the start of the second half to perfection.
He's come alive, really. He was quite quiet first half in the just sort of general quietness of the game, but he certainly started with a bang this half. Looking at his top form now.
He had Draper available, he didn't need him. No chance that time for Imanol Echeverria. That makes the mistake. Larrainza comes off Taylor. Javi Gonzalez deflected in it! And what a stunning start for the substitute. Javi Gonzalez has brought Bilbao right back into the tie. And this is going to be a nervy last 20 minutes for the Villa. Staunton will take the free kick. He's having one heck of a run up here, Steve Staunton. Oh, what a great effort! What a magnificent effort by Steve Staunton. We said they needed the heavy guns, and that really was a big bertha. Right. Oh, lovely ball. Dwight York, Milosevic in the middle. York, back comes Levetnabal. York waiting. Gary Charles, uncharted territory for him. Taylor brings it down, Milosevic! Good save! Didn't really hit it properly. And the keeper returns for his earlier error. And they're through. Aston Villa are through to the next round of the UEFA Cup. They go through by beating Athletic Bilbao. 2-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. And the birthday boy, Dwight York, complimented Ian Taylor, who got the first. And it's Villa who celebrate the name Dwight York and go through to the third round of the UEFA Cup. And Milosevic goes away, his place in the next round secured, as Aston Villa beat Athletic Bilbao by 2-1 and fly the flag for England in the UEFA Cup.
It's been a good game. Both sides have enjoyed each other's company. I mean, it's been very competitive, but very fair, and we're delighted with the result.
Was it a more open game than you expected?
No, I thought they'd come and play that way. I mean, they've watched us lately and not do well, so I genuinely felt they'd come here and have a real go at it. I think they fancied the chances, and it made it a real open game, but I thought it was going to be that way.
The league form has been poor, Brian. Does this get your season back on track now?
I hope so. You know, some weeks we've been putting some good performances, and just when we think we've got it right, we throw a bad one in. So, you know, until we really sort of stick a run of half a dozen up to 10 games unbeaten together, then really we'll just worry a little bit, but hopefully this will help.
Perhaps Europe would help in the Premiership, because Villa, looking to build on that great midweek UEFA Cup win, travelled to Selhurst Park to play Crystal Palace. Palace took the lead with a fiercely debated goal from Neil Shipperley. It was allowed to stand despite the fact that Villa players were extremely aggrieved the free kick had been taken from the wrong spot. Palace looked like notching their first home win of the season, despite being reduced to 10 men following the dismissal of fullback Jamie Smith on his home debut. But substitute Julian Joachim struck following a long-range effort from Savo. Joachim pouncing to hit home the rebounding ball into an unguarded net. And a 1-1 draw meant that Villa had finally taken something from a London team. Next up were Everton. Hugo Ehiog was back in the lineup as Villa sought victory before their upcoming UEFA Cup tie with Steaua Bucharest.
Good footwork, brilliant footwork by Speed. And oh, there could be trouble here for Alan Wright. And yes, Uriah Rennie, the referee, is going to book the Villa man. It's a penalty. Speed. Oh, and he sent the keeper the wrong way. And it's 1-0 to Everton. Dangerous ball across. Everton defending well. Great save by Southall. Well, you can roll back the years, can't you? Look at the athleticism here of the veteran keeper from Collimore's header. Villa striving to get back on level terms. Good one at there. Oh, and it's turned in by Milosevic. Beautiful equaliser there from Villa. A set-piece routine. Steve Staunton's cross. Nelson. That's not a bad little cross, and almost headed into his own net there. Southall coming out to have a word with his defenders. Staunton with the corner. So Villa putting the pressure on Everton now. Ekiog with a score! Oh! He's been out of the team for 2 games. Axed, brought back today, and that could well be the winner. Beautiful header from the big central defender. Staunton's well-weighted cross again, and look at the power in that header from Ekiog.
The UEFA Cup was next, and Villa seemed to be heading out.
Chakoyo, chance! Oh, it's in! Steaua Bucharest have the lead! Chakoyo scoring! 29 minutes gone, and Villa went to sleep. This is Militario. Crossing a deflection. Oh, great effort! What a goal! That is Chakoyo, I think this time does claim it. What a magnificent strike! Milosevic. York free header! That is the away goal! That's the precious goal that Aston Villa have been seeking, and Dwight York gets it.
So hope was retained in the UEFA Cup, but then came a second visit to Upton Park and a second defeat.
They're saying to Unsworth, keep going, because nobody came to block his run. Hartson now, and John Hartson for West Ham, yes! Oh, well taken. He's so determined. He deserves everything he gets. Oh, well played, York. Milosevic, York, oh, that's brilliant. What a good move by Aston Villa. Dwight York scores, but a delightful flick by Savo Milosevic in the first minute of the second half. Instant finish by Dwight York here. One of the neatest moves you're likely to see in the Premiership. And it's brought Aston Villa level. A lovely touch by the Yugoslav. And West Ham shaken by that, but hold on. Straight away, John Hartson gets into a shooting position. Goodness me, would you believe it? It's 2-1.
December was another busy month. 6 games, including the return with Steaua Bucharest and a visit to Old Trafford and Manchester United. But of 5 Premiership games, 3 were at home, perhaps then a chance to make up ground. So December began with the visit of Coventry, a team with a disastrous record at Villa Park. It continued, and Stan Collymore opened his home account.
So Coventry the chance to break, but not with a ball like that. Draper taking control. This is Collymore on the left foot. It took a little deflection and it's gone in. Stan Collymore has scored at last at Villa Park. Pushing there and holding. Oh, he's in trouble here as Williams, because he's already been yellow carded. Now then, what's the decision? It's going to be a sending off. Adrizovic coming to his teammate's aid there, but it's the second yellow card, and there it is. He's off. Williams gets an early bath. So Villa trying to exploit these spaces. Is there if he wants to knock it back. Full control the defence, but a little too cool. And here's Lee Hendry, good tight work from him, and a final shot too. It's 2-0 to Aston Villa. Lee Hendry. Oh, brilliant goal from the youngster. Staunton. Just waits for the movement off the ball. Julian Joachim, a good dummy there by and Collymore, and it's in all the way through. 3-0 Villa. Remarkable goal from Joachim. Hits him with the right foot. I think it's intended as a cross for Collymore. Collymore couldn't reach it, and Agrizovic is beaten.
Next came the return with Steaua Bucharest. A place in round 4 was on the horizon.
Staunton. They bring that huge tarpaulin cover out over the pitch at Villa Park when it starts to rain heavily, and boy did it rain. It's protected this magnificent surface superbly. Here's Charles to Collymore. That's a good ball. Grayson finds Taylor with a drive!
Great effort, Jonathan. Good football. Stan doing what he likes to do best, which is drop off. And then Ian Taylor stealing into the space behind him. A great through ball as well. And that will have given Brian Little great heart early on. A great effort at goal.
Really powered into the drive, Ian Taylor, as he saw his 4th goal of the season. Good block by Zoltan Ridley.
It's a good strike from Ian Taylor. He's done all he should do. You ideally wanted to go across goal, but it's hit with enough power to give the goalkeeper problems.
Milosevic, or Draper, or Staunton have a go at that 3-man wall. Nakita is in there.
I'm sure this will come flying another goal, no matter whatever.
Staunton, good bend on it, hit the bar! Just flicked the bar through. Steve Staunton for Aston Villa.
Oh, it's a brilliant strike. Certainly one of the best free kicks we've seen for a while, and deserved a goal.
Good run by Taylor, took the defender away, opened the gap to Charles. Mears there with it. Draper, good call. Charles will look for the return. Should be Rakitas. He didn't come for it. There's Collymore!
Great football and a great effort on the stern from Big Stan. Just didn't quite get over the ball.
Mark Draper has it. And Grayson will wait for Charles to arrive in position. And it's a free kick.
And that should be a booking, really. That's just quite a cynical obstruction. Just took Charles out. Great situation for Villa, was bearing in mind Stan Staunton's left foot. This ball will come fizzing in, I'm sure.
Echoes in the Taylor with a header! Well judged by Zoltan Ridley. And another chance.
Didn't quite catch it. He knows himself. He's holding his head there. And I think it's gone off his head and his shoulder.
Nikolai Stoikita. Draper in support. Charles awaiting. Again, good approach football by Villa. But yet again, the final ball is missing.
And yet again, not enough white shirts in the box.
Collymore, though, from Taylor. This time he's onside. Stan Collymore! Collymore off the post! Would you believe it?
A good run in, the ball's played in. He is marginally onside. He's had to wait for it to come down a little bit, but he's got it over the keeper. And there it is. He needs a positive touch, and he's just got under his studs.
It was Sheik who got it off the line. Chance for Milosevic! Milosevic!
Got it exactly right. His tactics have worked to a T, and the pressure has been slow to come, but it's slowly mounted, and in the end Big Sabo's got the all-important goal. If it stays like that, Villa go through and I win the sweep. I've got him to score the only goal, 1-0.
Savo Milosevic puts Aston Villa ahead on the night. It's his second important European goal of the season. Scored against Bordeaux, scores here. Here's Reagan Camp to take on Alan Wright. Staunton away. Big, fat, handsome volley. Collymore to Henry. Milosevic is out here to the left. This is a great run by Ian Taylor. This 3 up. Can Taylor finish it? He's got Collymore to his right. Ian Taylor! And Aston Villa are tailor-made for the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup. 2-0 on the night. And surely now a place in the last 8 seconds.
Well, just as we suggested, there might be another goal for Villa on the break. And Brian Little there tapping his forehead, saying to the players, think about it now, concentrate, make sure that you're not caught with your pants down. Never a suggestion of offside. An absolutely faultless piece of running through there. He was never ever going to do anything but shoot, even with two players supporting him, and a great finish. Well done, Big Ian Taylor.
What a well-weighted ball through by young Lee Hendry, the 20-year-old. 3-2 Aston Villa lead on aggregate. Deserves something, Collymore, for his opening endeavour in the first 20 minutes. Hendry, the kid!
Again, a great opportunity, a great ball in from Stan, showing just the kind of service that he wants himself.
Charles Taylor makes sure he's onside, and Collymore to finish it! Stan Collymore to finish it! Oh! You almost wanted to will it in for him.
Stanley wants his goal.
That's a poor ball out of defence by Linkar. And Aston Villa are through to the UEFA Cup quarter-final. It's their first UEFA Cup quarter-final in 20 years since Brian Little was in the side. It's their first European quarter-final in 14 years. Mikhail Stoikita, Australia Bucharest manager, congratulates them. And those Aston Villa fans have really played their part. So did Stan Collymore, especially opening 20 minutes when he brought a brilliant save out of the goalkeeper Rakita. Ian Taylor, who scored that second goal 4 minutes from time, racing through. Savo Milosevic, who got the breakthrough on 70. Stan Collymore, I think, has won many, many friends tonight. And it's Aston Villa who go through to the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup, winning by 2-0 on the night and 3-2 on aggregate.
Obviously, we took a lot of stick recently, but you know, there's no bigger critic of myself than me, and maybe, you know, I've been battering myself a little bit too much recently. But you know, trying to keep my head down, and like I say, I've been pleased with the last two results. But now, you know, a bit of consistency, and hopefully we can have a good second half to the season.
And Brian, you've got a bit of a breather now before the quarterfinals, but you must be looking forward to them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we need to take stock. I mean, I think a lot of us in the next hour or so will be watching very closely to find out what all the other results are, and people around the football club will dream of a special tie. But whoever we get in the next round is going to be very, very difficult. But I think we've played three decent sides. You know, we've played our best in Europe. We've had to play at our best in Europe, and they won't get any easier. But believe you me, they might not be that much tougher neither.
A 1-0 defeat at Old Trafford, and then the next league visitors were Southampton. Brian Little kept faith with the team that had lost against Manchester United, with Michael Oakes continuing to deputise for Mark Bosnich.
Long ball. Collymore couldn't control the header, but Milosevic is through here. Oh, good goalkeeping there from Jones, and good cover too there from Benali. Southampton looking good here. Oakes doing well from Hurst. Some pretty faces on the bench. Staunton with the free kick. But he didn't quite work off there, or maybe this is intentional. Staunton swings it in towards that far side again. Milosevic knocks it back again. Oh, great save from Taylor, and another double save from Jones as well. Jones, the Southampton goalkeeper, exceptional. Taylor, the man, defied there. Nice, neat build up here, Draper. Good ball in, Taylor. Oh, what a shot from Taylor. Jones, beaten all ends up by sheer power there. Finish, yes he can, 1-1, a powerful shot.
Probably the highlight of the month, in league terms at least, was the visit of Spurs, when Stan Collymore was able to help the team to achieve a much-needed victory.
Here's Milosevic, Collymore near post. Draper, a goal for Aston Villa, headed in by Mark Draper.
That's a great ball from Staunton. They look to play offside on just short of the halfway line, and they just don't get it right. Milosevic really does take his time. Top of the screen, Draper heading in, but watch him get in front of Stephen Carr. He just nicks in front of Carr. In fact, Carr even goes behind him, lets him in front of him. That's a decent header. It's down, it's low to the keeper's right-hand post. Difficult to deal with.
Sol Campbell has made his way forward. Gindler looking towards him. That's Raw Fox. Great stop by Bosnich. Clements trying to follow it in, and Spurs have equalised.
Well, Colin Caldwell's running away,
claiming it.
I'm not so sure who got the touch. Bosnich is convinced handball. The referee's given the goal. I think it probably just brushes Caldwell's arm on the way through, but that's going to be an interesting one. A cross goal. Well, it is the arm that goes in off, isn't it?
Staunton puts it towards him, and Milosevic. Grayson. Now Fernando Nelson. That's a push by Milosevic. It wasn't given. Collymore. A goal for Draper. A gift. It's Draper's day, Boxing Day. Well, they're behind Clements. And Collymore! Well, that should be it. And Stan Collymore is in the news for the right reasons. But Tottenham had problems.
Well, he doesn't get many from 6 yards. They really make a mess of it there. But Grayson does everything right. He takes his time and then just says to Collymore, there you go.
The team's struggling. It's the goalkeeper who feels that lack of confidence. And Ian Walker has had better seasons. Collymore! And Walker is beaten again. Stan Collymore celebrates a special free kick. And Aston Villa, well, their festivities here know no bounds. They're 4-1 in front.
Well, it's a super free kick, absolutely top draw. You think it's a long way out, you think that the Walker's got a good look at it. I have to say, having got there, he'll feel he should have done better. He gets his hand to this, sees it come a long way, but all he can do is just push it into the net. I think the day complete for both Villa and Tottenham.
So after that Boxing Day goal spree, Villa ended 1997 with an away trip to Elland Road, but Stan was out of the side with flu.
By the Aussie. Bad ball in. Oh, and he scored! Hasselbank! Boyer's cross. Hasselbank finds the finish. Here's Staunton. Another good cross from him. Milosevic equalises. It's taken Villa 7 minutes to get back on level terms.
January proved to be FA Cup month. 2 ties with Portsmouth, 1 with West Bromwich Albion provided the lion's share of the action in the first month of the new year. At Portsmouth, it looked as if Villa were heading for a 3rd round exit. Pompey looked as if they were heading to the 4th round, going 2 goals up. But Steve Staunton and a late equaliser from Simon Grayson earned Villa a replay. Next came a Midlands derby against Leicester, and super sub Julian Joachim able to rescue a point for Villa with a late goal against his former club. But Leicester stunned the home fans when Shimeka was penalised for a foul on Muzzy Izzet, and Gary Parker scored first in the Battle of the Old Boys. Villa's retaliation came in the dying minutes, Joachim scoring his 4th goal of the campaign, all of them so far having come as a substitute. The 21st minute goal from Savo Milosevic was sufficient to dispose of crisis-struck Portsmouth in that FA Cup 3rd round replay. In scoring this, he moved level with York and Taylor as the club's leading marksman on 6 goals. An embarrassingly one-sided affair next. Villa had no answer to a rampant Blackburn Rovers. Kevin Gallagher this time able to claim a hat-trick as Blackburn beat Villa 5-0. It meant Blackburn had scored 9 goals in 2 meetings against Villa. So troubled times then for Brian Little in the league, the patience of the Villa fans wearing thin, especially after that 5-0 defeat. 4 points clear of the relegation zone meant tough talking was necessary. They gained a much-needed lift with a comprehensive 4-0 FA Cup victory over local rivals West Bromwich Albion as January reached its conclusion. Simon Grayson scored first. Dwight Yorke produced all his poise, skill and strength in one moment for the second. Then shrugged off Matt Carbon for a game-sealing third. And then merely watched with the rest of us as Stan Collymore showed £7 million worth of top-line Premiership goal-scoring talent. So February was to prove a tough month, but with Coventry to come in the Cup, it was still the league form that was causing concern. They were defeated 1-0 at home by Newcastle, but better things were to come against the team of the moment, Derby County.
Simon Grayson, former Leicester player of course, finding Ekiog. Ekiog lets fly, oh! Almost caught the keeper out, and the follow-up's there, and it's there, Dwight Yorke! He didn't stop running, and he's rewarded for it.
But Yorke was missing as Villa were knocked out of the FA Cup, Coventry notching their first ever win at Villa Park.
Boateng getting the better of Wright and the better of Southgate. It's a fantastic run. Bosnic pushes it out. Moldovan scores for Coventry.
Next came a home match with Manchester United, and with Dwight Yorke still missing through injury, Brian Little brought back Savo Milosevic. It proved to be a disappointing night. Villa went down to 2 late goals from Beckham and Giggs. Away to Wimbledon, and Brian Little kept faith with the side that lost at home in midweek.
It's got a bad ball in. Oh, and Bosnich has lost it! And Yule turns it in! Coming back again. Chance here for Gale. Good cross. Oh, and it's headed in! 2-0. Eburn the scorer. So Villa badly needing something. Milosevic couldn't dig that one out. Southgate had a go. Milosevic gets it in this time with Sullivan wrong-footed. 2-1.
But defeat proved to be the end of an era. With the club 15th and facing a UEFA Cup quarter-final against Atletico Madrid, Brian Little resigned. He'd been in charge for 3 years and 3 months, during which time the team had won the Coca-Cola Cup and qualified for Europe through a top-5 finish. As a player, he'd been with Villa through the 70s, scoring 60 goals, including these 2 against Everton in the 1977 League Cup final.
Oh, and Little is going to score! Oh, what a terrible defensive disaster for Everton. And Brian Little has scored what now surely is the goal that wins the Football League Cup final.
The new manager was swiftly appointed. John Gregory left Wycombe Wanderers to take over as Villa manager. As a former player, he made 65 appearances under the guidance of Ron Saunders. He won 6 England caps and ended his playing days at Derby, before joining Brian Little's management team at both Leicester and at Villa. Stan Collymore immediately rediscovered his form with a vengeance and ensured a winning start for the new boss against Liverpool.
This ball into space, and Liam Hartson's through, and he's down by goalkeeper Mark Bosnich. That's a penalty. Bosnich taking his time to settle, so here's Michael Owen, and he scores his 18th goal of the season just 6 minutes into this game. It's 1-0 Liverpool. Good solid clearance from the keeper. Grayson. Almost a dummy there. He was held back there, was he? But the referee plays on, and it's there! Collymore has squeezed it in. I think it might have taken the deflection off Rob Jones, the fullback there. But some Villa players were appealing for the free kick. The referee played the advantage, and what an advantage it turned out to be. Collymore striking the ball off Jones, and it's 1-1. have come from behind to take the lead here. Taylor's shot striking the upright, and there was Stan Collymore to sweep in the loose ball. It's Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 1. Dwight York threading that ball through to Taylor, and he's got such a powerful shot. Hit it first time with the left foot, beat the keeper, and there's Collymore to turn in the loose ball.
March held the glamour of Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Cup, which made the monthly programme much more palatable. A first match under the new manager had certainly lifted the spirits for a trip to the Spanish capital, and previous European performances this season had put everyone in the best possible spirit as they began their journey. This was a competition in which domestic turmoil had been set aside, and with Gregory appointing Steve Harrison as his new coach, Villa were ready to extend their European adventure.
I'm delighted that the things are coming along so quickly because, you know, sometimes I suppose when you sit down and have weeks on end to wait for it, the panic probably sets in then, but I haven't got time to worry about it, to be honest, because it's on top of us. As soon as the Liverpool game was out of the way, as you say, you know, we're straight into this match in Madrid. The most important thing for me is making sure that the players are right. And, you know, they obviously were affected of the events of last week. And we just really had to settle the players down and concentrate and get focused on the match on Saturday. And now again, this Madrid game comes along, and it's the same situation. You know, all the staff at the football club were geared to make sure that the lads are as best prepared as they can be for this big match.
Who's that? No, it's a GB passport.
I've appointed Steve Harrison yesterday, who's come back to Villa. He's been here before. He knows everybody knows him. He's a tremendous fella. He's a fantastic character and great personality. Very, very bubbly person. He's going to be absolutely brilliant to me. And the players in particular on the training ground. I'm delighted to have him around. He knows Stan Collymore very, very well. He coached him at Crystal Palace. He spent a long time with him at Palace, and of course with Gareth Southgate as well. So all in all, I think it's I'm absolutely delighted that he's decided to come.
And I said to my wife just last week, I'll get another break. I'll get another chance. I know that. Because I know what I'm good at, and I know if I keep working, I'll deserve a chance. And I think that has happened. But people's got to give you that chance. That's out of my hands. I think I've earned the chance, but it's up to other people to have given it. But like Mr. Ellison, like John, has given me this opportunity to come back to a magnificent club, and I'll give it the full belt.
The interest in this trip was like no other. A place in the semi-finals was at stake, and determination had been increased, if that were possible, by the confidence apparently being shown in Spain by their expensively assembled opponents. One thing was for sure, Villa journeyed south, eager to quell Atletico's enthusiasm. Arrival in Spain should have been straightforward, until Dwight York's West Indian passport created complications. Perhaps after all the Spaniards were cautious and were merely trying to keep him out.
You're not president of the football club, but we important to you.
We've done well, thank you. That's it, son.
After a short wait, the staff, the kit and the officials were all safely through customs. Dwight York was still waiting. The intervention of Chairman Doug Ellis produced the necessary results, and finally York was allowed to enter Spain and set to work in Madrid.
Yeah, just about. To check up my criminal record and thought, yeah, just made it.
And there wasn't much that we were doing in the way of team pattern tonight, so it's just a question of everybody getting today out of their systems, really. We spent all day travelling. Most of the boys have been up fairly early this morning, and we were desperate to get out there and just have a fiddle with the balls. And as you saw, you know, there was a lot of enthusiasm amongst it, and in the end we had to call it a day because it was going too well, to be fair. You know, everyone's flying all over the place, and we had to put the reins on them a little bit and hold them back, try and save a bit for tomorrow night.
As I said, a new manager is coming. It's still the same players. Everybody just go about doing their job, and that's how it is. Obviously, a new manager, different ideas, and everybody's just enjoying themselves because it's a great place to come and play. As you can see, it's quite a lot of hype here, and this is what football is all about.
What's he all about? What's John Gregory all about?
Well, as I said, he's been here in the last 2 years. Well, he's been here 2 years before he went on to Wycombe Wanderers. So most of the players are familiar with his style. Obviously, the big difference is he's the leader now. He's going to dictate things, how he wants things to go. I think that's the big difference. But deep down inside, he's still pretty much the same type of guy, and a lot of fun in his training session. Everybody has a bit of laughter, but at the end of the day, result what matters. I mean, it's so important that we get a result like we have been doing in Europe.
Matchday itself brought a gentle loosener, nothing too strenuous, nothing too taxing. This was an exercise in finding a balance between the conservation of energy for the game and the alleviation of the tedium of a day in a Spanish hotel. Team selection was completed by the manager, there were no late fears, preparation was just about perfect.
Well, we just come here really just to get out of the hotel. I mean, the morning of a game, it's difficult to know what to do. Because we did work quite hard last night at the stadium, and you don't want to take too much out of your legs, especially in this heat. So I think it's just a case really of having a stretch and a walk around, and as you can see, everybody's very relaxed.
We've said all along we can't put our finger on why, you know, we've been up for the European games and not for the Premier, but you know, we'll be looking for another good result tonight. We'll be looking not to lose the game, I know that.
Just speaking to all of them individually, and it's not because I'm the manager, but you know, they really sense that they can get something tonight to take back to Villa Park, and we all know that we can score. We're all capable of scoring. Got some players within the side that are all capable of scoring goals on the night. So we're looking forward to the match itself and taking something back to Villa Park.
Lovely day in the sun. Hope it'll be as good as tonight.
It's hard for Yorkie. Trinidad and Tobago don't play that many internationals in Europe as such, so he's very much sort of on the European stage tonight, and I'm sure that he's going to respond well to it because he does come alive for these European games.
Why do you always want me down?
And tonight, of course, you know, not only the whole of Britain are watching it, no doubt the whole of Europe are watching this game tonight. So you know, Dwight's got his chance to really show what he's capable of playing against Spanish internationals tonight. And I think it's a great opportunity for him just to, you know, if people aren't aware of Dwight Yorke at the moment throughout Europe, then I'm hoping after tonight they certainly will be.
It's not very often I get opportunity to play in Europe, obviously because of my background. Not like, obviously, Gareth Southgate, who's got the European experience behind him and that sort of stuff. So I look forward to this. It's going to be certainly different. I've been playing in Europe at this level for 2 years now, so I've got a little bit of experience behind myself, and hopefully I can use that. Obviously, playing in the Premiership against the best players there, that will entitle me to see how good I am here.
There's no doubt the Atletico faithful were fanatical. These colours adorned every street corner, and even experienced television and football figures were struck by the night's fervour. But while these players would be heavily backed, Villa had their own supporters. However small in number, however much the locals drowned them out, the Villa players would be inspired by their very presence. The atmosphere before the game was generally convivial, even if the stakes inside were incredibly high.
This is Santi, the captain. Oh, and they've left the area a bit free here. What was Aston Villa doing there? Mark Bosnic's called upon to make a save. If you give the area that kind of space, it's suicide. And Vieri's Vieri's still in there. There's danger here for Villa, and Bosnic's called upon again. Well, Vieri's been let go twice. Well, there's a whole posse of players on the near post here as Pantic prepares to curl it in. Oh, and Bosnic's came, and it's there! No, a yellow card's been shown here. A yellow card's been shown.
It was a very good... He definitely caught his arm, didn't it?
He's punched it in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yellow card for Vieri. And again, from York, now Collymore. Oh, and there's a space here for Lee Hendry. That was an opening for Aston Villa, and the 20-year-old got into a shooting position. He's an adventurous fullback, that's his cross. Oh, it's been... Oh, what a save by Bosnic from point-blank range. Vieri can't believe it. That looked a certain goal for the number 9. Oh, and the header was saved initially, and there's a penalty been given, has that? I think the referee's given a penalty. He's walking towards the spot anyway, and it wasn't terribly clear what his signal was. But Villa are surrounding him, protesting.
Well, he's making a gesture as though the player's legs were taken away from him, and I think that means that it was Caminero. Here we see it, it was after the wonderful header, just as he was about to shoot there, as he's suggesting that Taylor fouled him.
And there are Villa players standing inside the area. I think that's what's concerning the referee now. It's Vieri with the spot kick for Atletico Madrid. Oh, he scored! What a great effort by Bosnic, who must have got so close. But Vieri scores to put Atletico ahead in this UEFA Cup tie. Now Grayson for Villa, there's a real chance on here. Oh, is he offside or not? What an opportunity for Julian Joachim. And I can't see whether there was a flag though, because everybody's standing up in front of us.
And Villa at the moment just playing with a little bit more urgency.
No, they've won that one back. Joachim now, can he use his pace on this right-hand side? He's got Dwight York in the centre, being joined by Lee Hendry now. It's still Julian Joachim. It's an inspired run by Villa's number 12, and Dwight York is here. Oh, and the miscontrol. He's got Hendry just behind him still. But if York's first touch had been through there, we could have had an equaliser.
Well, magnificent play by Julian Joachim.
And the referee signals that this first leg is over. Well, Aston Villa in this UEFA Cup, they went to Bordeaux and drew, they went to Bilbao and drew, they lost by 1 goal in Bucharest and came back again to win the tie in the second leg at Villa Park, and they're now being asked to do that again, having lost here by the only goal, a controversial penalty by Christian Vieri in the first half. But Villa showed in the second half that they're capable of unsettling this Atletico Madrid defence at Villa Park in 2 weeks' time.
Back in England, Julian Joachim's 4 goals this season had all come as a substitute. For the game with Chelsea, though, he was given a starting role in the absence of injured striker Stan Collymore.
Henry out there, but he picks it up again, finds Draper. Here's Julian Joachim. There's the dummy, there's the shot, and it's a goal! Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1. What a strike!
A first-half winner from Ashley Ward gave Barnsley their first ever victory at Villa Park and renewed their hope of avoiding relegation. It was only their second away from home all season, and one they didn't deserve. Villa should have won it comfortably, but it wasn't their day. Villa's 5th game in a fortnight was against Crystal Palace, a team that understandably lacked confidence and spirit. They hadn't won in 15 league games.
Draper's in the middle, here he is. Time to control it. Can he switch it? He can. Villa looking good. Nelson. Good cross from Nelson. Oh, what a header from Ian Taylor. And goalkeeper Kevin Miller flat-footed there as Taylor rammed in the header. Here's Steve Staunton. Another of those beautifully judged balls over the defence into a space. Oh, and that's a penalty, is it? Joachim brought down by Ismail. Now then, what's the referee going to show him? Ismail's in trouble. He doesn't like it. And, well, there's the contact. Was it inside or outside the box? Miller moving as he can under the new rules. And coolly taken by Milosevic. It's 2-0 to Aston Villa. And the smile says it all. Ekiot to Draper. On to Staunton. Now will he drill one in from here? He's likely to now. He plays a good ball into Milosevic, and it's there! Beautifully controlled, beautifully turned, and a clinical finish again. His second of the afternoon. It's Villa 3, Crystal Palace 0. So Villa firmly in control, but Crystal Palace trying to regain some respect here. Their away record's not been too bad. Oh, there's a super shot! Zoal the scorer, and that's a consolation goal for the Palace.
And so then it was back into action against Atletico Madrid. Villa trailed by 1 goal after that dodgy Vieri penalty in the first leg.
Kiko, nice looking ball forward, and there might be something for Atletico here. Kostic is out, Caminero, it's in, that's the goal they wanted. Jose Luis Caminero gives Atletico Madrid an away goal and leaves Aston Villa with Everest to climb. Right, Milosevic. Hendry, Taylor couldn't quite get there. Andrew was first. Draper, it bounces free from Molina. He claims it at the second attempt. Now it's Fable. Draper. Dwight York. He can shoot there. It's well curved, but it was always rising over the angle of post and bar. Stan Collymore. It seems only a matter of time before he is risked. He's been out with an injury lately, which is maybe why he wasn't in from the start tonight. Now it's Alan Wright. York off to Hendry. And wide for Joachim here! And he had Milosevic free in the middle. York and Hendry trying to combine. Now Wright, good looking ball in. Oh, and a header from York hits the bar. Desperate luck that for Villa when they most needed a break. Hendry. Taylor. Southgate. Hendry. York later back to Taylor. Yes! Ian Taylor equalises for Aston Villa on the night and gives them just a glimmer of hope. Just a glimmer. The man who grew up supporting Aston Villa on the Holt End scores a priceless goal. Took a deflection on the way through. Good finish. Well done by Hendry, who's having a fine match now. Collymore. Collymore! Yes! Oh, what a goal! Stan Collymore has set Villa Park alight. And there's still time for Aston Villa. They just need one more now. The scores are level on aggregate. And he hits this like an absolute rocket. No goalkeeper on earth would have got near that. Great work again by Lee Hendry. Collymore. Whoa. Tremendous. And John Gregory, the new manager, really starts to believe. Staunton. He's kept in play miraculously. Staunton battling away with Jelly. Staunton's won it back. Hendry! Oh, on the stretch, the goalkeeper. And Tony smuggles it to a corner. Aston Villa and Lee Hendry were the goalkeeper's fingernails away from what would surely have been the winner for them. Well, maybe a bit more than the fingernails. A bit of that palm of the hand too. Villa have not been able to apply the pressure. There goes the whistle. Aston Villa are eliminated on the away goals rule, and it's Atletico Madrid who go through to the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup on a dramatic night at Villa Park.
The European campaign had ended in glorious failure. Atletico survived on the away goals rule, the third time in 5 seasons Villa had fallen victim to that regulation. Away against Everton, the remarkable Premiership run under John Gregory's leadership stretched to 4 wins in 5 games.
Good turn by Joe Jim. Gary Charles gets it in. Oh, what a header from Joe Jim! Tremendous power from him there. The little man using all his neck muscles to propel the ball past Meyer. Beautifully set up by Charles, but what a header that was. Shot coming in there. Oh, and it's deflected. Spencer's shot deflected by Madar, and the Frenchman equalises for Everton. Poor ball there. Taylor gets it wide to Alan Wright. Good cross from Wright. In comes the shot, and it's there! Gary Charles, his first goal of the season. A lovely strike from the defender. He hit it on the run. And Meyer could only look and admire the shot. Cross coming in from Wright. And look at this for a strike. Beautifully played. Villa looking much the better side. Here's Dwight York charging through. Oh, and that's a penalty! No doubt about it. Craig Short bundling his man over here. He couldn't get close to him. Or close enough. York with the penalty. 3-1 to Villa. Stroked in with the right foot. Aston Villa going to town here at Goodison Park. Keeper got his hands to it, but couldn't keep it out. Right. Henry playing it through, and Dwight York on the charge. Oh, the keeper's bottled it! And Dwight York helps himself to a simple goal there. An amazing scoreline. Everton 1, Aston Villa 4, and 2 goals for this man. Beautifully played through there by Hendry, but look at this, the goalkeeper bottles it completely. And Dwight York takes advantage.
April appeared with no European football to look forward to, and no Sasa Churchic sold to Crystal Palace for £1 million. But in the next home game, West Ham appeared and were beaten.
Lamas's header not getting far enough, and West Ham going to put up a brick wall here. Dwight York plays it inside. Nice touch by Joachim. The shot coming in from Taylor, and it's deflected in by Julian Joachim. Again, calling other players into position before slotting the ball down the line. Dwight York giving chase as always. Here's York. Up against Ferdinand. Plays it inside. Chance here for the shot. Oh, and it's turned away by Lama again and popped in by Milicevic. The first shot coming from Hendry. Dwight York here. Plays it inside. The shot comes in from Hendry. A good save again by the keeper. But there was Milicevic to pick up the pieces.
The late season revival continued with a 2-1 away win against Midland rivals Coventry. It took Dwight York just 5 minutes to capitalise on Coventry's sluggish defending.
Staunton. This is right. Oh, good ball through. A chance here for Hendry maybe. Turns his man well, gets in a good cross, and Dwight York's there, and it's 1-0 to Aston Villa. Milosevic doing well under pressure there. And Milosevic breaks, gets the shot in, well blocked. coaching. Has to get another cross in, he's got space. Better one there. Oh, what an athletic shot that was from Dwight York. He virtually had his back to goal there, and he hooked it somehow into the net. And it's Aston Villa 2, Coventry City 0. Whelan forcing his way past two tackles, gets the shot in. Oh, and it's a good shot too. And Coventry City are back in business.
But John Gregory had now led Villa to victory in 6 of the 7 league games since he took over from Brian Little in February. And Villa now had a real opportunity of playing in Europe again. They improved their chances at Southampton.
Beautiful ball through to Lee Hendry, and Lee Hendry, oh, he's wrong-footed, Dryden, and he shoots, and it's a goal! He beats Jones on the near post. What a strike by the youngster. Beautiful ball in, and just look at the skill here. He takes on his man, turns inside him, wrong foots him, and shoots brilliantly past the goalkeeper. So, Southampton coming back again. Headed away by Storm. Oh, what a shot from Letizia! Dan Hoddle, are you watching? A super strike from Matthew Letizia. It's 1-1. Villa playing good, compact football here. Long ball across, Dwight York. Oh, what a goal that was! He just took it in his stride and stroked it home first time. One of the goals of the season. We've had 2 spectacular goals here this afternoon, and this amongst the best.
But next came Bolton, who threw themselves a Premiership lifeline with their first victory at Villa Park since the days of Nat Lofthouse. Former Villa player Neil Cox scored their first. Bob Taylor, a striker on loan from West Bromwich Albion, their second. Ian Taylor then gave Villa a little bit of hope, but there was to be no comeback. Because Nathan Blake confirmed a 3-1 scoreline that no one would have predicted given Villa's current form. John Gregory's only 2 league defeats since his appointment had come against relegated clubs. The month of May produced the final 2 fixtures, Arsenal on the final day, but not before a trip to see Ron Atkinson at Sheffield Wednesday. An excellent debut for Gareth Barry, a superb win for Aston Villa.
Trying to set up another attack, but it comes unstuck there. Good work by Nelson. Oh, and it's tucked in beautifully. Dwight York back pedals there, and Nelson and York celebrate. Dwight York in the thick of it as always. Tom doing well. Oh, he's giving it away again. Slack play by Wednesday there. 2-0, Henry the scorer. Villa coming forward again. Henry. He's having a great game. Oh, there's a shot. Blocked from Alan Wright. York. Oh, look at that. Joshin picked that one out of the net. Kevin Pressman beaten for the 3rd time this afternoon. Sheffield Wednesday struggling to get back into this game. Zanetti. Oh, that's a super shot from the substitute. Francesco Zanetti.
So John Gregory's appointment had proved an outstanding success. Our reporter John Helm caught up with him and the players before the last match of the season.
John, first of all, congratulations on the end to the season. I mean, you must be delighted that has it gone better than you thought it would?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, coming in was just an opportunity really to try and keep us up. I think that was the brief that was laid down to me really by the board, just stay in the Premiership this year and start sort of rebuilding and obviously try and get a good start next season. But I mean, it has gone better than I'd ever imagined. To have won 8 matches in the Premiership out of 10 is obviously a fantastic achievement by the players, and you know, we've still got this big one left tomorrow, and hopefully we can do something there, and who knows, I mean, anything is possible with regard to our European place. But it has gone very well, and I'm obviously extremely pleased to have picked up so many points.
How big an influence have John Gregory and in particular Steve Harrison been?
Tremendous really, both of them. Obviously we knew you know, Greg's the gaffer, yeah. From before.
and you know we knew what a good coach he was anyway, and you know he's left a lot of the coaching now to Harry, who's done a fantastic job really. You know, his life and soul of the place. You know, he's cracking jokes all the time. You know, even when you're not in the mood for it, you know, Harry always gets a laugh out of you, which is tremendous. You know, after you've had a bad result or a defeat, you need someone like Harry around, and you know, he just gets everyone up again. You know, gives everyone a lift, and you know, besides that, he's a fantastic coach as well.
No flies on him. Plenty of others.
Well, the good players here, obviously, I mean, what they've done over the last 4 or 5 years at this club, and Brian's done a terrific job here, make no mistake. But over this last, say, 6-month period, it was a little bit of a lull. But there are very, very good top players here, and it's been a joy to work with them. You're only as good as your materials, and once you get the materials singing one tune, then you're off and running, and that is what has happened here.
What we really need to do was, was to look at ourselves, which we were, to be quite honest, and try and go back to basics. But I suppose it needed a combination of that and an injection of confidence, which is what has been brought with the new management.
I've stated just how big a part Harry's played in the whole thing, because wherever he is, there's always a happy atmosphere. You know, whether he's in the coach's room, in the dining room, or out here on the training ground, there's always a good atmosphere around Harry. So he's done first class in that department. But also, what people tend to overlook is not only is he good company, but he's a bloody good coach. And anybody that sort of sees us work will realise that Harry does have a big input into the way that we run things here, and the lads all respect him and love having him around and get on with him very well. He gets on with everybody at the club as well, and of course he was coming back as well. Harry's been a fixture here before now, so he knows the place as well. So I mean, between us all, I've got Paul Barron that helps us as well on the fitness side and the goalkeeping side. Jim Walker, my physio. And Terry Stanley, Kevin McDonald, Malcolm Beard, Tony McAndrew have all played a massive part in this good run that we've had.
John's kept it very basic, very simple, and he's emphasised the point that we don't want to confuse the players. He has a saying where he doesn't want tactics to get in the way of good players, and I think that's a very good one, and it makes players feel good. But we've been organised and we've done the work properly. And the boys have worked very hard, and as a group they've worked hard, and the dressing room itself is a buoyant one. As you said before we went on air, it's the results that set the tone of things, but it goes hand in glove. Confidence breeds results, and results breed confidence. So at the minute the world's a happy place.
The atmosphere in the dressing room now is very relaxed, and I think players, as you say, are probably wishing that we had a couple of months still to go.
I think if you ask any of the players, we don't really want the season to end so soon, because we're just starting to find some form, and and we're beginning to enjoy ourselves again.
The game's all about goals, and I think people pay to watch people score, and people pay to watch the likes of Dwight and Stan, the quality that they've got. I mean, it's breathtaking, some of the things that they can do. It's marvellous just to work with players like that. Whereas the boys up front have done the business and won the games, the boys at the back and the middle of the park have done the business for me in stemming the goals, and that's equally as important. From goalkeeper right through the defensive unit and right through to the midfield unit. It's been one big group effort, but the bottom line is you need someone to score goals, and Dwight's done that, and a tremendous job as well.
It's easy just to go out and spend money. It's easy to go out and blow money and then be stuck with players that you didn't particularly want. So I'm being very cautious, I suppose. I don't like to be over cautious, but I will react very positively if I can get the right people in. They need to be the right character, and I must say during my period here in the last sort of 2 or 3 years, we have purchased players that haven't worked out as well as they should have done. Savo has not done as well as we'd liked him to have done. Sasha, of course, there was a problem with Sasha, and they cost us $7.5 million. Stan Collimore's cost us $7 million, and as yet he hasn't produced the kind of form and produced the kind of ability that we know he's got. So I mean, we've still got that to come in many respects. So, but there's £15 million that's been spent. So we need to, anybody that I bring in, I need to make sure that they're of the right character. They need to be playing 38 games a season for me, or something close to that.
What with bad form, a couple of injuries and a suspension, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. I took little bits of positive. I always try and take something positive out at the end of the season. And there was the Atletico Madrid game at home where we so nearly qualified. And for me personally, getting a couple of goals against Liverpool to start the ball rolling off under John Gregory. But overall for me, it's been a disappointing season.
But there's been positive parts. I mean, the run in Europe was very positive, and as I say, the way we finished very strongly hopefully bodes well for the start of next year.
That certainly was a bonus because you were playing good sides as well, weren't you? You obviously played Bilbao and Madrid, and you know there were good teams that you were up against, which showed what you were capable of.
They were, and actually I thought Bordeaux was the hardest game we had, and we did very well to get a draw out there. But if you look at Bilbao, who looked like they could finish second in Spain, and Madrid, who we know all about their quality, and even Steaua Bucharest, who started the year in the Champions League, it was an excellent run, and to beat teams of that quality, I think showed what this squad is capable of.
As it's just been stated, the lads are confident, and when they are confident, they think they can win games, and when they think they can win games, they want the kick-off 5 minutes earlier, which is a marvellous feeling. And we've all had good times, we've all had bad times, but when those times occur, you've got to enjoy them and you've got to capitalise on them and keep them going. And it's just a matter of keeping the players buoyant, keeping them happy. John's been excellent with the players in as much that he's been in and out, he's been very concise, very economical with his words. If there's any words to be spoken, he's done them in not more than 3 or 4 sentences. And the boys have responded tremendously well, and we need to keep it going.
Until you're loving it.
It's a joy. It's just when we look at this place, and we've just had a nice, bright, lively session with the quality of play we've got. All that £100 a week, you can't argue, can you?
You get as much as that, then.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly couldn't argue with another splendid performance as Villa ended the season in style on the 10th of May against the Premiership champions, Arsenal.
Adams takes charge. Leads by example. Petit to right. Oh, terrible foul from behind by Hugo Egiog, who's already been yellow carded, and he's about to walk the plank. Well, there's a plea from Tony Adams not to send off the Villa central defender, but that is a scene you're going to get used to in the World Cup finals. Any challenge from behind is going to bring a red card. Egiog had already been yellow carded, and for his foul on Ian Wright, he's sent off. Keown and Winterburn. Seaman stays on his line, and that looks like a penalty. Ramondi had his arm around the Arsenal attacker Dwight York, the Aston Villa attacker Dwight York, and no doubt about it. Well, he pulled him down, he stopped York getting to the ball. It was the long arm of the Frenchman, which has given Aston Villa an opportunity to take the lead. Dwight York fouled. Dwight York's chance to score his 16th goal of the season. York against Seaman. Oh, nonchalant! David Seaman saved some big penalties in his time, but he's never been beaten by such a soft touch. What a cheeky, chappy finish from Dwight York. Waited for Seaman to go and literally stubbed it in. There's confidence and there's confidence. 10-man Villa are leading against the champions.
The last half of the season had certainly been one to remember, and the supporters were grateful for late season efforts. After the Arsenal game, the Player of the Year award saw Ricardo Xhemeka named Junior Player of the Year and Ian Taylor named Player of the Year. Congratulations to both of them. The win against Arsenal had secured 7th place for Villa and left the team counting on Chelsea to beat Stuttgart in the Cup Winners' Cup for an automatic UEFA Cup place. If not, the Intertoto Cup beckoned.
If we have to try and get into the UEFA through the Intertoto route, then we'll do it, because I want to be in Europe next season, and I'm quite willing to sacrifice 3 or 4 pre-season friendlies to be playing in a competition that would give us automatic entry into the UEFA Cup, because it does mean a lot to Villa. Villa have always been associated with European nights not only did we win the European Cup, but we've obviously been involved in lots of European games since that day, and I think that 1982 will always stick in my mind on what a fantastic achievement it was for Aston Villa. Not only to win it, but to beat someone like Bayern Munich in the final, and there was quite a few good games along the way as well. And we need European nights. We want to try and emulate that team of 1982 because you know, they will always be held as, and quite rightly so, as the best team that Aston Villa ever produced, because we were #1 in Europe. No one can ever take that away from us. So we want to do that again. We want to get back there again, and most importantly, of course, we need to win the Premiership, because we haven't won it now for, what is it, 17 years. 17 years since we last won it. Yeah. We've come second a couple of times, which were brilliant achievements with Graham Taylor and Ron Atkinson. But we want to win it, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be amongst them next season, because you know, we finished quite well this season, and I just want to carry that same form into next season and make sure that we are amongst the Premiership title contenders.
Chelsea's victory in Stockholm put Villa back in the UEFA Cup. The incredible run of 9 wins in 11 league games under John Gregory had earned its reward.